What's going on, y'all? So, got quite a few things to talk about. Not just Errol Spence Jr. saying that he's going to knock out Pacquiao. Got a few things that went down today. Um, Wait till a few people get in here. Salute to everybody in the building. Hit that like button for your boy. We'll get this show started. Hey, Drive, we go get to that. We go get to the bottom of this, right? I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit, LT. I'm gonna drop the link in a little bit, but we got to get to the bottom of this because actually these guys from boxing scene caught blue blood shit late. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about Errol Spence. He gave blue blood the interview, and now these guys gotta get the credit to guys like not blue blood, but barbershop the credit and shit like that. But yeah, he said he's gonna stop him. He said he's gonna stop Manny Pacquiao, and there's no rematch clause. But before we get to that, damn good for the man. But before we get to that, the Wilder Fury card is looking nice. It's looking real nice. It's a heavyweight card. It ain't popping up. There you go. Heavyweight card. F.A. Ajagbe versus Frank Sanchez. Top rank versus PBC. Robert Helenius versus Adam Kornacki. And Jared Anderson versus Vladimir. I can't pronounce the name anyway. But yeah, that's what we got. That's a nice card, man. It's a nice addition from what we normally get. We'll get a bullshit undercard with a bunch of flyweights and you know what I'm saying? Like, but this is cool. You know what I'm saying? F.A. Ajagbe versus Frank Sanchez is a really good fight. The rematch between Robert Helenius and Adam Kornacki, that should be a good fight as well. You know what I'm saying? Because we've seen Adam Kornacki get his ass kicked in an upset by Robert Helenius. You know what I'm saying? Robert Helenius, man, it's like it's never over for these guys, man. Especially in the heavyweight division, man. Who would have thought that he would have beat Yep, see, I'm getting news on this Keith Thurman news too. I'm sure y'all heard about that. But yeah, Robert Lanius came out there and whooped his ass, man. You know, so we're gonna see if Kornacki can come back and get that one back because he was on a fast track, man. They was talking about him fighting Wilder next, and he ended up getting beat by Robert Lanius out of nowhere and shit. But yeah, that should be a good card, man. So see, that's what happens when we get promotion companies working together. We get a nice little solid card like this. You know what I'm saying? We don't know what the preliminary card looking like either. Okay, I'm getting some news here behind the scenes. It says a rematch between former welterweight champions Keith Thurman and Sean Porter is being discussed for the fall. Yep. So they talking about Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. Do we really want to see that? Do we want to see part two right now? I don't know. I think Sean Porter beat Keith Thurman right now. And it says I expect Ugas versus Mikey Garcia next. So my source behind the scenes says Ugas Mikey might be another fight that they're working on with PBC. And then as I just said, that they talking about Keith Thurman and Sean Porter. Now, do we really want to see that fight? Oh, here we go, bro. See, there you go, man. Marcellus Duck and Tommy just fought some guy. You know what I'm saying? I think he went to a decision or some shit like that. Tommy Marcellus, that would have been the ideal to put on the card. That would have been the play. You know what I'm saying? Put the brothers, the Furies versus the Wilders. That should have been a play. Wizard Kelly says Pacquiao got way too much experience. Spence not stopping lightweights. He's not stopping me. Yeah, I'll go get to all that shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it sounds good. You know what I'm saying? It sounds good that you're gonna stop Manny Pacquiao. Sounds real good. You know what I'm saying? Sounds excellent. Promised to KO Pacquiao into retirement, fight to have VADA test, and no rematch clause. So Spence is calling all the shots. It's looking like Spence is calling the shots here. But he promises to knock out Pacquiao. No rematch clause. You think Spence can knock out Pacquiao? Because Spence hasn't knocked out, I think, anybody since like 2016. If I'm not mistaken. I think his last knockout was is it Ocampos or Peterson? One of the two? I can't remember. It was a while ago. So he hasn't stopped nobody in a long time. And then when we seen him in there with Mikey, a really little guy, he didn't stop him. We didn't see him stop Sean Porter. Some may say he arguably lost that one. You know, he said he's gonna stop Sean Porter. He stopped Kell Brook. Kell Brook wasn't. I don't think Kell Brook was his last stoppage. I think Ocampos was probably. Wait, was it Ocampos? Fuck, I forgot now, man. Shit. But he hasn't got a stoppage in a long time. But now they got Blu-ray back. Will Blu-ray really make a difference? Is Blu-ray the difference for Errol Spence Jr.? You know what I'm saying? Is Blu-ray really the difference for Errol Spence? Stopping Pacquiao, that's not an easy feat. Marquez, it took him about 4 or 5 tries. It took him about 4 or 5 tries to stop Errol Spence. I mean, not Errol Spence, but Manny Pacquiao. It took him that many times. Nobody just stops Manny Pacquiao. And Errol Spence isn't really necessarily the best finisher. He's not like he's not really a good finisher. You got to be careful. He might run into some bullshit trying to stop Pacquiao. You can't promise some shit like that. We should just say, I'm just going to get the victory. Even though it's boring, just be safe. But, you know, Spence, that's his way of selling the fight. His fans are going to take that, you know, oh, yeah, he's going to stop it. Oh, yeah, ooh, ooh, ooh. He's going to take that and run with it. That's his way of selling the fight. You know, because after the fight, it's going to be a narrative, well, I just want to show people I can outbox Pacquiao. Because he said that about Mikey. I want to show people I can box. I mean, but we knew you could box. You don't make it to the Olympic team if you can't box. Very good fundamentals. You can box. You just couldn't stop the little dude. Then you didn't stop the dudes after that either. But you're supposed to stop Manny Pacquiao. That makes it interesting. What if Manny fucking knocks him out and then there's no rematch clause? That's crazy. Hey, but shout out to Spence though. No rematch. I know I'm gonna get the job done. He said, "Did you say Blu-ray?" I'm not assuming that, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying Blu-ray and them is doing that. Blu-rays, I watch his workout regimen. That shit looks vicious. You know what I'm saying? You got to be in shape just to do what he's trying to get you in shape. You got to be in shape just to do that shit. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna see if he's really the deal breaker for Errol Spence. I don't think so. I don't think that's the case. Errol Spence Jr. is a bigger welterweight that's been cutting weight for a long time. I don't know if I don't know. You know what I'm saying? He's taking a lot out of himself to keep cutting down to 147, especially as a 30-some-year-old man. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao looking fucking quick too, man. You know what I'm saying? Pacquiao, he's looking fast as shit. He's looking fast. This fight gonna be interesting, you guys. Spence said he's gonna knock him out. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't see Spence knocking him out. Actually, I didn't even a knockout didn't even come to my mind. Salute to Loyal to the Game Boxing. What's going on, man? What's going on, man? What's going on to my man Loyal to the Game Boxing? Y'all go subscribe to my man Loyal to the Game and go check out Loyal to the Game Boxing on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? He came on here to check on, see what I was talking about with Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? He came in here to check up on me. He came up on here to check up on me. He said he gonna knock out Manny. Loyal? I don't know. Do you believe that's gonna happen? I don't know. Manny Pacquiao? I mean, he just don't get knocked out. Yes, sir. You believe that's gonna happen? Man, I don't know. Errol Spence he hasn't been knocking people out lately. You know what I'm saying? He hasn't been knocking people out. So he may try to force an issue with Pacquiao, an experienced guy like Pacquiao. Pacquiao might fucking buzz him. And then what if Pacquiao gets a controversial decision? And then there's no fucking rematch clause. Hey, respect to Spence though. You know what I'm saying? He putting it all on the line. He putting it all on the table against the old man. He said, I'm all in. If I don't win, I don't win, but I know I'm going to win. But Manny Pacquiao ain't no joke. Let me see if I got the video. Manny Pacquiao ain't no fucking joke right now. You know what I'm saying? He's still looking fucking quick as fuck. And I've been paying attention to Pacquiao, and it seemed like overnight he just started. He looked faster and sharper than he did about a month or so ago. You know what I'm saying? That motherfucker just speed is his attribute, and I don't think that's gonna go away. I think he's gonna be the fastest guy on fight night. It'll be a good fight. One thing about Errol Spence Jr., his fights ain't been that great lately. Like not like thoroughly exciting. But if you a dude that's gonna bring the fight to him, he will fight your motherfucking ass. You know what I'm saying? He ain't about to play defense and none of that shit. But you know, it's gonna be a fun fight. I wonder who punches harder. You know what I'm saying? Who actually punches harder, Manny Pacquiao or Errol Spence? Who has more one shot knockout power? Yeah, it's gonna be a great fight, man. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, your boy that got the fight over my boy, man. He's one of the luckiest dudes in boxing. He's that lucky ass motherfucker, man. That was in school and just a lucky guy. Got the damn Pacquiao fight. Didn't even do nothing. You didn't do nothing, and he got a Pacquiao fight. Boy had to fucking damn near. What's up, bro? Horse in the building. He said, blame Bob. Oh my God. Salute my man, bro Horse. He said, blame Bob. Hey, man. I mean, yeah. Bob Arum ain't shit, dog. He really ain't. You know what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to like promoting his fighters and doing what he needs to do, he don't give a fuck. Why? Because he's like 1,000 years old. You know what I'm saying? It needs to be somebody in position that really cares about the reputation of the company. Because these other fighters and these other up-and-coming guys look at that shit. If you doing shit like this to Terrence Crawford, what the fuck you gonna do to my black ass? You know what I'm saying? Other black fighters, other guys who may not, move the needle, may not got charisma, just good fighters. You know what I'm saying? Like, they looking at Top Rank like, man, please. But see, Top Rank know how to lure guys in, too. They know how to lure guys in. You know? Yeah, but yeah, I agree with the blame Bob shit, bro. I'm gonna send a link to my man Loyal real quick, man. Because me and him gotta talk. Hold on one second. Yeah, man, Bob Arum, he's not doing right by Terrence Crawford, dude. I mean, I could be honest. He's not. He's not doing right by Bud at all. But then again, when we look at the Porter fight, Bob said what he said, and that's the thing with Bob. We know what we're getting from him. We can expect bullshit like that from him. But with Al Heyman, how come Al Heyman couldn't put nothing up with Sean to go over there with the Terrence Crawford fight, put some money up with it? You know what I'm saying? Do it for Sean. He's like one of the most loyal PBC guys. He's like the Andre Berto of now. You know what I'm saying? Back when Andre Berto was one of the first guys. Now Sean Porter's that guy. You know what I'm saying? Hold up. Now Sean Porter's that guy. He didn't give him that fucking fight, man. He didn't give him that fight. Hell yeah, I've been. Oh yeah, you finally made the salute to my man Terry Smoot Jr. He finally made a stream. Yeah, man, I randomly do streams. I usually do it around this time though. You know what I'm saying? But I need to find a real good time. I can't be competing with fucking Blue Blood and all these other dudes and shit, man. It's just insane. Yeah, hit the like button for your boy too. Leonard Thomas, hold up. I'm gonna let my man Loyal come in real quick first. Then I'm gonna drop you in because I can't begin tag team by two Spence dudes right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gonna try to tag team me and shit. But yeah, he said he gonna knock Pacquiao out, man. That's a bold statement though. So now, I'm not gonna be looking for no excuses. You already know. When you say something like that, okay, so now I'm gonna be looking for the knockout, Spence. I'm not looking for no excuses after the fight where I'm just trying to box and I don't think that's gonna be tough. That's gonna be tough to do to knock out Pacquiao, man. The speed alone, because Pacquiao was able to keep up with Keith Thurman, and Keith Thurman is probably the fastest for welterweight, even though Keith Thurman may have lost a step, due to his own inactivity. But shit, Pacquiao was able to keep up with him. If there's a big speed difference, oh man, it might be an ugly night for Spence. Oh wow, you just had to go there. Trav just had to go there, man. Why you had to go there? Yep. All I'm hoping for really is an exciting fight. Is an exciting fight. I don't really honestly care about the knockout. I'm just gonna be talking shit though. But I mean, I understand Pacquiao's gonna be tough to knock out. That's not gonna be easy to do. Spence just saying it because it sounds good. That's just a way of selling fights. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Bud needs to start doing more shit like that, honestly. Instead of saying, I'm just gonna get the victory. I'm just gonna get the victory. No, 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 no. Tell us you're gonna rip that motherfucker's heart out. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to hear. Yeah, Spence do got deceiving speed, Mike Jones. He do. He got some speed, but I wouldn't say he's the fastest guy, like twitchy, like out of all the other guys. He's faster than Danny. You know what I'm saying? Danny's probably the slowest. But then I got like probably Keith and Sean. Bud is up in there with him. You know what I'm saying? I think Sean's probably the best athlete out of all of them. I think Keith Thurman's probably the fastest footwork. I think Crawford is overall just good speed. And Spence, he got deceiving speed. He's good at dashing in, dashing back. And he don't really waste punches and shit. Spence don't waste punches. When he throws, he's gonna make sure he lands. He's gonna make sure he hits something. So I mean, it's not like these guys. When I say slow, I don't mean slow. You know what I'm saying? In real life, man, all these dudes is fast as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? It's just others are faster than others. Joe Joyce is slow as shit, but guess what? He still be hitting people. He still be knocking guys out. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, salute to my man, loyal to the game, boxing in the building. What's going on, bro?
Man, I'm good. I'm good, brother. How you doing?
Doing good, man.
I
Now
can't.
me and loyal is like rivals in this big Crawford thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we're decent rivals. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You know, but yeah, I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a really good fight. I can't just say Manny Pacquiao's gonna get knocked out, but I've been an advocate for this that Errol Spence's last three performances definitely wasn't his best performances.
Right.
And we can't, we can't blame anyone but him because there were things, it was pretty evident of things that he wasn't doing as a fighter outside of the ring, and he was coming into camps fat and everything. I mean, to be honest, his last fight against Danny Garcia was the first camp since he'd been on pay-per-view where he looked in shape before camp, and that's because he was working his way back into just health and fighting and having to prove something to himself that he could still fight. So
Right.
I can't disrespect Manny Pacquiao though.
Right.
Manny Pacquiao is a legend. You can't ever count him out after what I've seen with Thurman, because I picked Thurman, but you can't count Pacquiao out. But I do see, and I did see in the Thurman fight with Pacquiao where Manny Pacquiao had some issues when Thurman did come forward.
Yes, he did. He sure did. I was just gonna say that. He definitely when Keith Thurman was coming forward and later in the half fight,
Yeah,
he was turning on Manny.
yeah, he has some issues, and I don't know how great Pacquiao is fighting on the inside. He's more of a speed guy, so it's gonna be about his speed and his angles versus Errol's jab and his ability to close the distance.
Right.
You know, so it's a what I like about the fight is the clash of styles. That's what I like about the fight. It's a clash of styles, and no matter what happens, I'm going to respect Pacquiao to the fullest either way.
Right.
Look at his record.
Yeah, I mean, the dude, even if you was a guy that was fighting with Pacquiao fans for years, you have to respect Manny Pacquiao. If you any type of fight fan, you have to
Yeah,
respect him. He's fighting Errol fucking Spence Jr., bro.
right.
Like,
Exactly.
he's been around for how long? And look today, he's fighting Errol Spence Jr. The dude is a
Yeah,
senator. He's probably about to be a president. But he's fighting Errol Spence Jr.
yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah. I'm really happy that they having VADA testing going on for this fight because there was just some questionable things about Pacquiao in the past. I mean, I even saw an interview where Freddie Roach said he didn't know what was in the shake that Alex Ariza used to give him, and
Mm,
he would ask him what was in that shake because if he popped dirty, it would reflect bad on him as a trainer. And
right.
Alex Ariza never showed him. And then then after all that Olympic style blood test stuff started, they kicked Alex Ariza out of the camp.
Mm-hmm.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
that, and and then I don't know if a lot of people noticed this, but the Marcus Maidana fight against Floyd Mayweather, the first one, how big and strong he was, and then how Floyd uh, bought Alex Ariza for the second fight. He didn't let Marcus Maidana have Alex Ariza for that second fight.
Yeah, you're right. He did.
And he made sure that Alex Ariza wasn't around for the fight between him and Pacquiao. He kept Alex Ariza with him, even though he wasn't. He said, "Oh, I'm just," because Floyd know that Alex Ariza has a reputation. So if y'all don't remember, he was saying he was using him for certain stretches and stuff. He never said he would use him for strength and conditioning.
Right.
So
Right.
it's I just when I look at Manny Pacquiao, I respect him a lot, but I believe the alleged stuff that he was blood doping
Mm.
back in the day. I believe it. I'm saying alleged. I'm not saying that he did. I was called alleged because I don't want no I don't want no
Right.
lawsuits and nothing like that.
Right.
But I just call a spade because once Alex Ariza left his camp, he would damn near went 8 years without a knockout.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
yeah. Pacquiao went on a streak where he wasn't knocking out anybody.
anyone. And
Yeah.
then as soon as he was able to go, when he had his first fight in Asia outside of the United States against Batista, he got a knockout.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Keith
Yep.
Thurman, there was no testing. You feel me? So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Keith Thurman said he could take whatever he wanted to take. Then he regretted it. He's saying that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy that there is this VADA testing.
Now this ain't USADA though. USADA is Olympic style, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, but they never catch no one. VADA be the one who catch everyone.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. They do.
VADA, they got Victor Conte over there who know all the bullshit. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? Like,
you're right. Yeah. Yeah.
he know all the bullshit. So, look, it just needs to be on an even playing field. At the end of the day, I respect Manny Pacquiao for what he's doing. It's great for the sport. It's great for the fans. And I talked to Blu-ray. I spoke to Blu-ray yesterday. He told me that VADA already tested Errol on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're not even in camp. They're not even his camp don't even start till I think like the 23rd or the 21st or something like that. So they already testing VADA. So
Damn, they own it.
yeah, they own it. Well, they serious about it because Arrow people they're not slow people. They're people intelligent. So they're not gonna watch their son go through, or their family go through what he went through with that car accident. Throw him in there, with no, you know what I'm saying, with no protection with the blood testing because shit, motherfuckers die in boxing. Shit ain't, you know what I'm saying? Like you can take a bad beating. Look what Manny Pacquiao did to Antonio Margarito's eye. He ended his career. He deserved it for all the cheating he did, but you know, Manny Pacquiao could put a beating on you, man. Them fucking hands is fast as shit, and he could just put a beating on you too for a while.
Yeah. Thunderous speed.
Yeah, he could put a beating on you. So you definitely have to respect his game out there. But I'm trying to tell people. I'm trying to give Manny the benefit of the doubt from a respect standpoint. Just that he's an OG. So I'm just I want to be respectful to Manny. I'm not gonna just be like, oh, he won, knock Manny Pacquiao out. But I'm just telling you, Blu-ray back in the camp is a big deal, bro.
Now, explain to me why Blu-ray is a difference maker for Errol Spence.
Okay, so I'll tell you why. So when I first started to watch Errol Spence myself fight, the way I found out about Errol Spence was when I lived in Philly. At my job, there was a young guy named Tone Perez, and he claimed that he was Danny Garcia's cousin. He's Puerto Rican. He could have been. I don't know. But he told me about Errol Spence knocking out Adrian Broner in sparring before it was like let out. Mm-hmm. So I went to go look at like who this Errol Spence dude is on YouTube, and I didn't really, I was a big Floyd fan back then. So, Floyd, Bud, they got those flashy styles, they got those, slick styles. I thought the way Spence fought was real boring. I mean, I watched one of his fights, like one or two of his fights, and they were short fights because they were like 4 rounders to begin his career. I stopped watching it. And then I went back and I kept hearing more buzz, and I watched it, and I started to appreciate what he was doing. It took me some time to appreciate his style. It was more like I try to explain that Errol Spence style is kind of like Tim Duncan in basketball. The shit don't, you know what I'm saying? The shit look like,
right. Yeah, that's a good analogy.
You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, like it's nothing special, but you turn up this motherfucker got 3 championships, 5 championships, and then Tim Duncan got, at the end of the game, shit looked real basic. Then he ended up with 35, 16, 15 rebounds and 3 blocks. And you like, him? You know what I'm saying? It's like, none of it looked real flashy and slick, but it's just very effective. Right. So then for me with Blu-ray, what had put Errol Spence over the top for me was I saw him and working out with Blu-ray on YouTube. So I'm originally from Brooklyn, and there's a park out in Brooklyn called Wingate Park, and if you go on YouTube now, there's a whole lot of guys that do calisthenics. They have these calisthenic channels. Hey, what's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? LT in the
building. Yo, I don't mean to cut nobody off, but can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm gonna jump back in if you guys can't hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, we can hear you. So maybe he can't hear us. So in Wingate Park, like it's a real famous park in Brooklyn for people who work out and do calisthenics. And a lot of these guys do like ridiculous shit. Like you can turn it on. I can give you different channels where you got guys who are doing workouts, or they call them these sets, where they're doing 50 pull-ups and 100 push-ups.
I don't mean to cut nobody off again, but can y'all hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Okay, I can hear you now.
All right, cool.
Tripping, man.
Cool.
Ahead, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's cool. So you'll see these guys. A lot of these guys, they'll have like little hit workouts where they'll do 50 chin-ups and 100 push-ups in under 5 minutes.
Damn.
Yeah, like I'll send you links.
Yeah, send me a link later. I'm trying to get back in shape and work out and shit, so I'm trying to get on some shit. These guys
are strong, man. You got a lot of guys coming out of prison,
So basically, Blu-ray is one of those type of dudes that do
exactly
workout.
Exactly.
So
the funny thing is the way I met Blu-ray was I went to the Spence Mikey Garcia fight, and I was interested because, you know, just like you with Bud, you try to keep up with your fighter the best way you can via social media and videos and stuff. And I remember after the Ocampo fight that Errol Spence did he was at some boxing expo where he was selling like t-shirts and signing posters and stuff like that. I forgot where it was. But he had on like a white tee and he had a gut and people was getting on him for being fat.
Who, Spence?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
At that expo. So I was just interested in seeing, like, because, you know, leading up to the Kell Brook fight and all these other fights, he never looked like that. But so I was just interested in seeing how he was going to look at the weigh-in, because this was also the point in time where, you know, me and IOTBA, we fell out, and leading into that Mikey Garcia fight, Spence and Derek James had the gym closed down. It was a closed gym. Before, they used to have like open training camps, but they were at another gym. For this training camp, it was shut down. And I was trying to tell IOTBA he was taking it personal. I was like, nah, he probably got to cut a lot of weight, you know. So they try to be focused because this is their first pay-per-view fight. So long story short, I get to the weigh-in, and I wound up sitting next to Blu-ray. It just kind of happened like that. So Earl come out, and he does his weigh-in. He weighs in 146 point something, whatever it is. But his physique didn't look the same. Because when I was at the Ocampo one, he looked crazy. I was like kind of scared for Ocampo. Because when I remember when he flexed his core, I was like straight up, I was like, is he on something? Like, shit looked crazy. At this one, he looked kind of like frail in a way. Like it was just different. Yeah. So I looked at Blu-ray.
He looked frail in the Danny fight. Leading up to the Danny fight, he looked really frail to me.
He looked smaller, but he looked more in shape and cut. Like he was stronger, but he was smaller. And I wasn't shocked about that because I remember, you know, the picture that's photoshopped now that shows him taking a picture and it looks like he got a breast or something. You know, the one that people always posted on social media, looked like he got a big ass nipple breast. She looked crazy. I remember when so he was doing a whole lot of running and stuff when he was rehabbing after the accident, and he looked really, really small. So he wasn't really like doing strength and conditioning. You know, if you start doing a lot of running, you're going to just shrink. You know, and he did a lot of running. He was doing a lot of cardio, a lot of bike riding, probably trying to get his wind up and everything. But anyway, long story short, when I met Blu-ray and Earl did the weigh-in, I looked at Blu-ray. I said, "You ain't work with him at this camp." So he looked at me and said, "What make you say that?" And I said, "Look at him." And he just started laughing, and he didn't work with him. It was just kind of evident, you know. And then we went into the Sean Porter fight as well. I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but there was Errol had posted something on Instagram. He was hitting the bag in the gym or something. And he made a post and he said, "No more fat boy now." But he was like maybe like 3 weeks in the camp, and his average just barely starting to come out, you know. So he wasn't really taking good care of himself, you know. And then what happened after the Porter fight, unfortunately, it just showed that he was living kind of fast and shit happened and it made him slow down, you know, a little bit. So,
hey, but now that you explained to me who Blu-ray is and what. Because I've seen them videos of them dudes that be doing them fucking workouts.
You
know what I'm saying? What's up, man? Oh, salute to my man YSM Sports in the building. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, Bushido?
Hey, yo, I heard that Blu-ray trained Iron Man for the rematch with Thanos. And I heard that Blu-ray trained Rocky Balboa to fight Drago.
Right.
This is what I heard, man.
Right.
They talking about, y'all Spence fans be killing me, yo. The Blu-ray is the key to life.
Listen, last time we had a discussion about something like this, you told me that because Errol Spence was in an accident, that Danny was going to knock him out. Right, that's what you said.
Whoa, stop! I didn't think he recovered from it. I was wrong. I didn't think he recovered from it.
I'm just saying. Look, I think y'all should just make a fair evaluation after they fight, because if he looks, because let's just all be honest. the way Errol Spence looked and the way his power was with Lamont Peterson, Chris Algieri, and Bundle, we haven't seen that at all. You know, and the only thing that we could really go and his pay-per-view fights, and that's when he stopped doing his strength and conditioning. So the only thing I really know to go off of, besides just what my eyes tell me, is data. And with with Blu-ray, the last fight Errol Spence had before he started using Blu-ray was Ronald Cruz fight. The Ronald Cruz fight, he didn't knock him out. He won the fight, but he didn't knock him out. He then used Blu-ray for 11 straight fights and got 11 straight knockouts. And then once he stopped using them, he stopped getting knockouts. So I'm not saying. What's that?
On a serious note, Kwame, I'm gonna give you props because I did hear that Blu-ray developed the super soldier serum for Captain America.
Right.
So you might be right.
Okay.
I had to fuck with you, Kwame.
I know what it is.
You preaching this Blu-ray shit, but go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just saying, and I didn't get on here and say, oh, Spence is gonna knock out, Manny. I give Manny all the credit in the world. That guy, you can't bet against him, and I just have to give him that type of respect.
Parkinson says Errol in weight camp right now.
Oh no, he's definitely not in weight camp. Like I said, I spoke to Blu-ray. Yeah, I spoke to him yesterday. Matter of fact, I was on the phone with him yesterday, and I asked him. I said, I said, how long would it take? Could it be this camp, or would you need another camp to get him back in the shape he was in Chris Algieri? He said, Errol is really strong already, and we'll be back to that in this camp. And basically, he said he's on pace to be back to doing his 700 push-up warm-up by the time training camp starts in a couple weeks.
God, damn, 700 push-up warm-up?
Warm-up. Yeah.
Now,
so,
bro, I'm looking at Blu-ray different now because now that he told me who that guy is.
You said it's the prison workout?
Right.
Crazy dude doing all them pull-ups.
Right.
And all that shit.
Oh, wait, you talking about like the bartender dude?
Right.
Oh, shit.
So Blu-ray basically told me, because I asked him, I said, hey man, what got you into working out, and like who was your major influences? And then he told me, he was like, I thought I was working out, and then I went to New York and I met up with these guys at Wingate Park. I wouldn't have known that because I used to go to that park when I was living in Brooklyn. And he said he met up with these guys, and he actually got the guy on the phone with me on a three-way. And he said, these guys, they took him to a park, and it was some stairs. And basically, there was 24 steps. And each set of steps, they had to do 100 push-ups. Those guys did 2,400 push-ups. Blu-ray said he only was able to do 400. He was only able to get up 4 stairs. I'm trying to tell you, these guys out there, they like fucking superhuman motherfuckers, man. And
Cheeto, that's the bar. That's the park he's talking about. That's the bartender.
Well, not that one. The bartender's park is either in Harlem or the Bronx. It's uptown. This one's in Brooklyn. But all of these parks in New York, they come together and have calisthenic competitions. Okay. You know what I'm saying? I got y'all info, so I'll send y'all like some YouTube links and you'll see. But these guys are pretty. They serious, and one of the things I've always recognized about the guys who do the calisthenics is that they have a different type of strength. I don't know how to really explain it. It's like guys who lift weights are strong as shit too, but it's kind of different. And what I saw with Spence, especially the Mikey Garcia fight, because I was there ringside for that fight. I was at a floor seat. And he did, see, when I could keep it 100, he lying when he said he wasn't trying to stop Mikey. That's a lie. That's a lie.
Hey, Bushido, man, I don't mean to cut nobody out. I'm trying to cook a little bit.
Okay, good, brother.
Hey, OG, man, I like to hear you talk, man. You're a good storyteller, man. You're a real good storyteller, man. I want to say real quick, I got to get on Bushido, then I'm going to get on YSN real quick.
Okay.
But Bushido, man, I got to get my good laughs in, brother, because, man. Hey,
yeah, man.
How you feel, man? I told you not to count your chickens before they hatch. Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
You did.
I told you. I said, hey, you know what? And I wasn't mad that when I heard Crawford about to get the fight. But you know what pissed me off? You know what pissed me off when I heard his fanboy shitting on Spence? Oh, ha, ha, ha. You ain't going to get the fight. Who going to be the A side now? You going to have to bow down to him. And when I heard that, that pissed me off. And I'm like, y'all said, you know what? If he gets it, he gets it. I was happy for the brother. But I said, if he doesn't, I'm going to do the exact same thing Raw did
but
to us.
honestly, I'm happy Spence got the fight, man. Honestly. You know what I'm saying? I haven't bashed the fight. I mean, it's a great fight.
And so with that being said, to kind of talk about what that sorry, what's your name, man? The guy who was just speaking?
Oh, you can call me Lil to the game.
Oh, that's the game, yeah. To capitalize, I've heard some stories too. Now I'm not quite as close as him. It seems like but I've heard stories when he said 700. That's light. I've heard him do. He was having at their peak when they were going back. He was having Earl do I think between 1,000 to 1,200 push. Oh no, 900 push-ups. Within a couple minutes time frame. And so I've heard I've just heard certain stories and going based off of data. I mean, all we can go based off is data. It's not like when people say Blu-ray makes a difference. We're just trying to say it just to say it. If you go off of data, you're just going based off what we saw. The man had him in an 11 knockout streak.
Right.
And you can tell as soon as he dropped him, there was a power difference.
Yep.
When Earl had Blu-ray, these are the things that I noticed that dropped off. First off, when he had Blu-ray, he was a little bit bigger. His punches were a little bit stronger. They were more crisp. When he was able to dig to the body and stay in the pocket more with Blu-ray, so it's a definite, and his stamina was better. So there's
the only problem with that data is that was when he was fighting inferior competition. So we don't know necessarily if it was Blu-ray or him moving up into fighting elite level fighters at that weight class. So that's why there's a question mark behind it.
And I agree with you. We have to see it against top level competition. But can we at least agree that we can see a difference in the physique? Because when he stepped out into the scale of the Mikey Garcia fight, he was very skinny.
Yep.
And he was so cut up. Don't get it twisted, but he was very skinny. His body was not the same as almost like you can snap him like a toothpick. You know what I'm saying? So it seemed like when you see to me the best Errol Spence that we ever had seen. Peak. I mean, he was just unbeatable that night. Was when he fought Chris Algieri.
Yeah.
I mean that version of. I mean, he was cut. I mean, he was on point. And now you have to understand that if Blu-ray does make a difference, which I do believe he will, if you notice, he's gonna have all this experience fighting world champions. And so when you couple that with now adding Blu-ray back into the camp, that's why I do favor him by stoppage. Late stoppage by Pacquiao, but I'm not one of these fanboys who's going to say that's going to be an easy night because both fighters, like I've been saying, bring things to the table that the other struggles against. And so I do believe it's going to be a hard fight in the beginning, but the only reason why I favor from stoppage late, about 10th or 11th round, is because of Blu-ray. Had it not been for Blu-ray, I probably would have gave Spencer a competitive UD. But with Blu-ray, I do think he's going to be able to get him up out of there.
No disrespect to Manny, because Manny is a legend and probably a top 3 fighter of the last 10 to 20 years. But this is a bad fight. This isn't going to end well for Manny. This is a bad fight.
For Manny?
First being that they're both southpaws. All right, so neither are really used to fighting southpaws. But what we know about southpaws is when fighting an orthodox fighter, they're only used to defending 2 punches, straight right and the left hook. That's the only punches they really worry about. But when fighting another southpaw, everything's on the table.
Yeah.
And now we're dealing with a 2-year layoff, Manny being 42, and him fighting the bigger man. And we've seen Manny in the ring with bigger physical men in Jeff Horn.
Right.
And Earl's a much better fighter, technically, physically, and athletically than Jeff Horn. All he has to do is duplicate that particular style, and he'll end up stopping me.
Yep.
That's why I agree. I actually, and I'm the same. To show you that I'm objective. I'm the same man who said he wasn't going to stop Sean Porter. I'm the same man who said he wasn't going to stop Danny Garcia. But I do think he's going to be able to get Manny Pacquiao up out of there late. I do believe that.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, here's the other thing. I'll piggyback, because a lot of people say, all right, it's the competition, but I don't agree with that, because I think about this, right? Okay, so Kell Brook came off that 9-month layoff from the Triple G fight and having the surgery. But Spence severely damaged that guy, broke his eye socket, broke his ribs and everything. Now, when he fights Lamont Peterson. We saw the type of damage he did to Lamont Peterson. Then when he fights Mikey Garcia, and he landed way more punches on Mikey Garcia than both of those guys. He didn't do the same type of damage to him. So that, to me, that shows there was definitely a drop off in his power, because Mikey Garcia face basically looked the same way. Who's this kid? Virgil Ortiz face looked after the Hooker fight. He had swelling over his eyes, discoloration on his eyes, but he didn't look too crazy. Lamont Peterson's eyes were shutting. Kell Brook eye was falling apart. It was the other eye, broken ribs, all these things. So, I mean, I know for a fact that Blu-ray plays a major key in Errol Spence's power, and I think also it played a key in the Sean Porter fight, because Spence didn't look as sharp as he normally looked against Porter. It looked like he beat Porter because he's just better. He figured I could just go in there and I could beat Porter at his own game. But people know when you are very serious and you're working out, especially if you had the mindset where you're doing 700 something push-ups, all of these crazy workouts,
900.
Yeah, all of those things carry over into other aspects of your life, and of course your fight game, especially in the aspect of concentration, this, that, and the other. And when it came to the Sean Porter fight, I mean, he got a bag, and he just, he started living really fast and crazy. I mean, I don't like to speak about his accident, but look how soon after the Sean Porter fight that happened. So there was a period of time where this guy just lost focus. I remember he did an interview with Thomas Hill, one of his sparring partners, and they were asking Errol Spence about strength and conditioning for for Mikey Garcia. And he looked at Thomas Hill and he said, "Tell him when I was supposed to be doing my push-ups and sit-ups and stuff, I was playing Madden." I was pissed off about that, because I was like, bro, I done traveled all the way from Philly. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't even working at the time. Like, I had to finance that trip, and you not even taking shit serious, But he's still able. What a lot of people don't really appreciate is that he is still able, even when he isn't focused, to fight a certain caliber level of opponent and still decisively beat them and not even be taking shit as serious, because we all know that Sean Porter, that was the best shape and the best version we have ever seen of Sean Porter. And when you go back to the tape, Sean Porter was in training camp for this fight like 6 months out. 6 months out. Errol Spence went into fat camp and still was able to press Sean Porter out at his best. So I think this is all playing out, I think, really well. The Manny Pacquiao fight, I think we're gonna get the old Errol Spence back. I really like Manny Pacquiao, so I don't want to see him get punished too bad. But
I do.
But if it happened, yeah,
I do.
No.
I'm tired of Manny Pacquiao. I want him
I want the Blu-ray thing to be true, because I don't want any excuses when Earl got to deal with those two welterweights that's living under the stairs.
Okay.
There's two welterweights under the stairs waiting for him.
Listen. Let me
to be on point.
Let me tell you something. Why I saying Jamil? I'm putting it to you like this, and I'm gonna start some shit with Bushido. There's only one welterweight waiting for EJ that I'm worried about, and that is Boots. That's the only one.
Wow.
I'm telling you, I'm keeping it real. I'm not worried about Bud at all.
Wow.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. The only time I had some worry about Bud was when I saw EJ fucking off and drinking and partying and fat cancer, because Bud is such a gym rat that
but
that type of shit
does any of that stuff, bro.
But hey, yo, hello.
Yeah, you said You said Bud.
I was gonna say I was good, man. This guy's just taking the world's right out of my mouth, man.
Yeah,
But
You really know,
EJ out here
but I'm
dancing
saying, but
with
you
his
have to
man.
imagine. Okay, you
Bud
have to
out here
imagine something.
shadow boxing in blizzards and shit. Come on,
But
bro.
Listen.
You have to imagine something. If Errol Spence is doing the way he does against people when he's unfocused and without a strength and conditioning coach, what do you think happens when he's at 100% and has a strength and conditioning?
He's been at 147 too long.
That's not true. Okay.
Yeah.
I want you to look at Errol Spence physique when he's slim.
Two dudes will whoop his ass, man.
Who is?
Crawford and Boots are gonna whoop his ass.
I'm not worried.
I ain't gonna argue with you on Boots. Because I fuck with Boots heavy, and I'm nervous about that one. I ain't even gonna lie. I think if they fight, they need to fight at 154. I know. I'm keeping it real. But let me tell you something. When it comes to Bud, see, you can show me all this shit. You can show me all this shit about Bud. You know, fighting shadow boxing and blizzards and shit, and being a gym rat. But he do all of that shit, and he still be getting rocked by these guys. And be getting hit clean, and he ain't fought nobody who's an athlete just like him. Every time you look at the Mean Machine. You look at the Mean Machine fight. Mean Machine rocks him, right? He knocks out Mean Machine, but what he does is he drags Mean Machine into like a dog fight because he's just an all around better fighter. And he's also a superior athlete. He's a melanated brother. He's a more superior of an athlete. He hasn't fought any of these guys. They haven't fought
him.
Listen, I don't listen.
He's the pound king.
I don't buy that.
Wait. He's the what?
Allegedly. Yeah, I don't buy that.
I don't either.
I don't buy that.
He's not the pound for pound king, bro.
No, he's the pound for pound.
Wait, Bushido, weren't you the same guy who just said Canelo's last fight that Canelo earned that spot to be the pound for pound king?
He didn't forget sometimes. He
forget. He didn't forget. Canelo used to play Charlo or Andre.
Wait. So Canelo needs to fight Charlo or Andre. Who does Bud need to fight to be the best? Come on, bro.
Crawford, Pacquiao, he needs to fight everybody. Bud needs to fight everybody.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you this, right? You got this guy, Bud Crawford, right?
This guy.
He comes in, right? He come talking all this shit about he calling out this person, that person from 140, which was a damn lie, right? You come to welterweight as the undisputed champion of 140. Bruh, you could have jumped into any sanctioning body and fought for a title. Cause that belt, that WBO belt that was with Top Rank and Jeff Horn, that shit wasn't going nowhere. So if they were so gangster, they would have went and jumped in with all of these guys.
But the same guy pulled up on Spence.
How you pull up on somebody? How you pull up on somebody?
Cheeto, I understand what you're saying.
No. He came to his fight.
But bro, he's not lying about that though.
No.
He could have been the man. He could have been the man though for the WBC because they carry that same rule.
Yeah.
He could have fought Sean or Danny for that vacant WBC.
Y'all remember what those guys were saying?
It don't matter what they want to do. He could have fought for that belt if he wanted to.
WBC got the automatic mandatory spot like WBO do.
And Jamil, don't forget this part as well. When he came, as soon as they brought Bud up to 147, Bob Arum was the one talking about he didn't want to fight Thurman, Danny Garcia, or Porter because none of them were elite fighters. The only one they wanted to fight was Errol Spence. Now, so I mean, they done shot it's crazy because Bob Arum come out and say that, right? But then when after he beats Jeff Horn, they say, who you want to fight next? He said, I want all the champions. He don't call no one out. Then before the Benavidez fight, Errol starts talking about Errol Spence and all this they want to fight. And then we wait after the Benavidez fight. He said, I want to fight all the champions, and Bob got to set this up. So I'm just confused. If you wanted all the if you want all the champions, why is your promoter from the beginning saying that all the guys that are champions ain't elite and they're not a good fight? I mean, I've said this before. Bob Arum is just a master manipulator. I don't blame Bud Crawford because he's the fighter, right? He do what he's supposed to do in the ring with whoever they put in front of him. But
yeah, see, I knew that was right here with my man Mark Schlempo. No WC. I knew they didn't, bro. That's why I said, like, wait a minute.
Yes, they do.
I don't remember them doing that, bro.
Yes, they do.
Some bullshit for Canelo.
No, listen, he's incorrect in what he's saying. He says the WC doesn't have a rule to make the WBO #1 mandatory. What Mark is leaving out is that when he came up, he was undisputed. He had the WBC. He had the WBC, had all the belts. So he wasn't the WBO mandatory. You
sent in a formal request the same way Ray Vargas did for Gary Russell. You sent a formal request in to become the mandatory.
But we also got to remember the story. Well, yeah, he got to beat Jeff Horn, get a belt. So they wasn't gonna fight Bud regardless, bro. They wanted Bud to go up and get a belt first.
I said, regardless of that, you forced their hand though.
But the WBC don't do that.
I'm telling you, they just did it for Ray
right away.
Did it for Ray Vargas, bro.
See, my thing is, I think a lot of times people, because we fight fans, a lot of people get lost in the other side to actually make the fights. Because yeah, Crawford can say what he want to do, but if his handlers if that's not what they have planned, then they're not going to do that. And
hey, Errol Spence told Crawford to his face, "Am I? Al want me to do this. Al want me to do that. He want me to do this. Am I no plans? No. So yeah."
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
No.
What you're not understanding is when Spence made that comment, "Get a belt so I can fight you," that's to even be considered to fight him. Bud did not even have a belt coming up to 147. So
wait, Leonard, I'm gonna stop you right there, right?
Okay, right,
what we gonna be is fair, right?
Because we'll be fair. Yeah.
The kind of energy. Wow, I think Bud will beat Spence. I think Spence is the clear A side, and Bud hasn't done enough to make these fights. I'm going to agree. Talking in an interview ain't trying to make a fight. But what we're going to acknowledge is this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Spence energy is completely different with Bud, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was fishing for Jeff Horn. When Bud got that belt, his energy was different. And last time I checked, we would have felt some type of way if Sergey Kovalev told Andre Ward he got to get a belt before he fights him at 175 pounds.
Man.
You can't tell Andre Ward that. You can't tell Bud Crawford that. You can't tell Floyd Mayweather that. You can't tell Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, any great fighter. You can't tell them they got to get a belt. They're a great fighter.
But yes, you can tell them that. That's like saying.
Wait. So if Castano wins, can you allow him to tell Errol Spence to get a belt and I'll fight you? You got to get a belt.
Okay. Can you blame him? Can you blame him for saying that though? Can you really blame him for saying that? Why would I fight you without nothing? Why would I fight you without? I mean, come on, be fair, be reasonable.
But all right.
My kids don't eat a belt.
How do I know? Okay, hold on. How do I know how far if you weight class you don't have a belt?
You breaking up, yeah. The ice cream truck messing your frequency up.
No, it's not my thing.
Oh, go ahead. Now you're clear again.
Okay, I was saying that's okay. So can we agree that Spence and Crawford, they're kind of like rivals, right? On the same level-ish, right? They're kind of viewed as, okay, very competitive, around the same notoriety. Can we agree on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine. Why, logically, think about this logically. Why would I fight a competitor of mine, a rival of mine, if he didn't have a belt and he was moving up a weight class? How do I know how good you are? I mean, how do I know that you can
what
still
about Mikey Garcia, though? Mikey Garcia, I mean, he moved up 2 weight classes or whatever.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you what Mikey Garcia was.
Shit at welterweight.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you what Mikey Garcia was. Mikey Garcia was a money grab.
Let's just be real. Terrence Crawford is a tough night out. Terrence Crawford is a tough night out, bro. That's
He
what
is a
it
tough
is.
night out, but I still think Spence beats him.
Right. And also we got to keep the same energy with this get a belt stuff, because I mean I do recall Bomac being on the Boxing Voice before they fought Kell Brook, and they asked him about fighting Thurman, and he said we only want to fight people with belts. They said we ain't gonna get no credit for beating no Thurman, right?
No credit.
What? How about you mention
but he get credit for beating Mean Machine, who just drew it, Ray Robinson.
We give him credit for Mean Machine.
We give him credit for Kell Brook, who ain't for that 150.
Mean Machine. If you look at Mean Machine's record,
Kell Brook was gonna beat Bud, and you know all that.
I think
we gotta give credit for that.
We knew Kell Brook was a shell of himself. I didn't say that. I never said that. I said he was going to knock Kell Brook out. I ain't never said that, because I said the same thing, and I had posts in my group. I said that if Kell Brook is left on his feet standing, Bob Arum is going to rob Terrence Crawford.
I don't know him.
But I said Kell Brook is a shell of himself, because he looked bad in a fight at 154. Errol Spence was laughing at him when he was fighting. I remember, I think there was a fight where he even dropped his trainer, Dominic Ingle. He was in an all-out dog fight with somebody. He ain't look the same no more. So you're going to take a guy.
I need you to answer that question, though.
Money on Kell Brook beating Bud, bro. I remember this shit.
No, you don't. I never said that.
No, that's not true.
Kell Brook beating Bud. Now we don't want to give him credit.
I never said that.
Hey, people may say that. I never had Brook beating Bud. I never had him. I knew Bud was gonna beat Brook. I just didn't think he was gonna beat him so early. But I knew Kell Brook was shot. I already knew that. I was.
Cheeto, fuck all that. They need to answer this question, yo. Would you be okay if Castano told Errol Spence that he had to get a belt in order to fight him? Would you be okay with it?
I would understand it if he has to get a
belt.
belt.
Would you be okay with it?
I respect it if he's like undisputed. I respect it.
Y'all lying, right?
And secondly, Castano don't even have no star power to him or nothing. And then I think the other thing that we keep leaving, I think the other thing that we keep leaving out.
When he told Bud that.
I think the other thing that we keep leaving out as well, because we keep going back to making it about the egos between the fighters. But even before all of this happened, Floyd Mayweather came out and said that they were going to make the Crawford and Spence fight marinate. And the people was saying, how Floyd going to say that? And they was asking Errol Spence if is Floyd in charge of PBC and all that? And Errol said he don't sign my checks. So this has been something that's been in the works for a long time. And it's because I hate to always go into it, because the fans don't really want to hear it, but it is what it is. This is all about a war. This is all about a war between Arum and Heyman. The fighters are
coming up next month.
Huh?
But they got a fight coming up next month.
Yeah, but all of these fights are in-house fights. They have frozen out Crawford. All these fights are in-house fights. You know, Manny Pacquiao's not in top rank. Mikey Garcia wasn't at top rank.
I agree with Darius Wayne. He says Spence is a great money fighter, but Bud is the best in the division.
I don't think Bud's the best in the division. I think he's one of the best in the division. But I think it's also highly unfair, right? When people make these, all right, we talked about Blu-ray, and everyone says, oh, well, he stopped doing this because his level of competition went up, Errol Spence. But no one says the same thing about Terrence Crawford. When is his level of competition going to step up before y'all crowning him to be better than everyone else?
And you know what? Let me do you one better. Hey, Bushido. Hold on, Bushido. Okay, go ahead.
Because Sean Porter, they could have made more of an effort to fight Bud. You ain't bringing shit to the fucking table. Get Al Heyman to put someone for the fight. Bob talking that shit. So basically, Bob Arum didn't want to pay for two fighters. Al Heyman wasn't going to put no money behind Sean Porter for that fight. So Sean Porter was moving on.
Listen, let me ask you a question, right? If
for Sean Porter.
Let me ask you a question though, right? If both of us, right? Let's say Bushido Boxing, you're a business, loyal to the game, I'm a business, right? And we rivals, and we decide to come together for a big ass event and make hundreds of millions of dollars together. And as soon as we do it, and I come out and I don't come out as good as you come out, I sue you and take you to court over that, right? And then once all that is over, now you need me in order for your business to stay afloat, right? Am I supposed to go bail you out? Because you fucked up. Am I supposed to throw you a lifeline? Am I supposed to say, okay, you know what, Bob, I'm Bushido, I know you got your fighter over there. You've been out here in the public calling me a cancer and saying I don't exist and sued me. And the other part that a lot of people are forgetting as well is that Bob Arum went and signed Tyson Fury just so he could get a sit-down meeting with Al Heyman. See, because Bob Arum, when Tyson Fury, but it's the truth. Because when Tyson Fury was out there fucked up and Deontay Wilder threw him that, let's get this money together, Top Rank had all the time in the world to go throw him a wrath. But as soon as Bob Arum couldn't get those meetings because he's on a time crunch with ESPN to produce the Spence fight, and he got that pressure on his ass. So then he took the money and then he threw the money to go get Tyson Fury. And then he got a sit down with Al Heyman. And then he came out and said the fights were going to happen, right? But then what happens? They have a fight. And then again, once you go have a big money fight with Bob Arum again, now you back in court because you can't get your rematch. So
let me break it, because I've brother, you take the words right out of my mouth. I've kind of told Bushido that situation, that scenario that you brought up earlier. Let me ask him a question. Let me break it down to him so you can understand from a logical perspective.
Hold on. Salute to my man Robert Navarro in the building. He said all of a sudden the WBA belt going back to back, but when it was Bud, in fact, WBA wasn't saying nothing.
They didn't, probably because there was no real money behind the fight. What did Arab say? The finances didn't come through. We don't hear Manny Pacquiao was getting the belt back until something was officially announced. And I guarantee you, if that shit was officially announced, they would have gave him his belt back.
Yeah,
Thank you.
would have.
And Bushido, let me break it down for you so you can understand. If I have a business and you have a business, we're in the business for years, we're around the same level, but your business starts to go under. And then I decide to take you in. I decide to take your assets and everything. Are you in any position, logically speaking, are you in any position at all to call any other shots on my business? Yes or no?
Yeah. Because I got something
how?
belt. If you want that WBO belt, give me something fair. Simple as that.
Okay. So I want the building across the street. I want your building. But are you in any position to tell me how to run this business, that my business has been most successful so far?
Down and out like that, bro. He's out in Dubai living his best life.
Name one top welterweight. Name one.
He just needs these guys to have the balls to put an effort to fucking fight him. They're not doing that.
So name one top welterweight over at Top Rank. Name one.
In the 80s or the 90s, he would have had some fucking fights. Why? Because the motherfuckers would have been trying to test their gangster.
But
Bushido, name one top welterweight over.
I don't know. You just disappeared. Bushido, you still there?
You keep lagging in and out, bro.
Yeah. I just say this. What a lot of people also, you bring up a good point about the 80s and 90s, right? But what a lot of people also fail to realize is that there was a big shift in business in boxing. Everyone was running towards getting these network deals because Al Heyman fucked up the game. He changed the game. Eddie Hearn had to just stop going to the whole matchroom thing. He had to go get money from the zone. Bob Arum had the shit with HBO. He couldn't validate Crawford to HBO because he only did 50,000 buys against Postal. So they was banking on the Eastern European fighters. Then the Eastern European fighters started losing. Then HBO said, we out of boxing. Hold
on. Salute to my man. Ohio runs boxing for the $3 super chat. Salute, bro.
Salute you, Marcus. You know what I'm saying? So now Arum has to run over to ESPN to still be in the boxing game. And what he does is he puts together a deal with ESPN based off the Zone had the app was an app. They were trying to sell Terrence Crawford as a draw on ESPN Plus. Let's not act like we forgot about that.
That was some bullshit.
Right. Oh, but this is what I'm saying. These are all the things that people.
Bro.
These are right, but these are the things people are leaving out. So it wasn't about Macho, who's supposed to be fighting. It was about these networks getting the revenue, and you can tell by the first time Errol Spence went on to ESPN, the first take when he was getting ready to fight Lamont Peterson, and Matt Kellerman tried to diss Keith Thurman and bait him into a bud, because that has always been what they were trying to get, was a big fight between those two. But you can't get a big fight between Errol Spence and Terrence Bud Crawford as soon as someone says go get a belt and we'll fight, when one guy in Errol Spence never fought on pay-per-view in his life yet, and the other guy and Bud Crawford only has a history of doing 50,000 buys. And we ain't doing this under one banner. We doing this under Fox, and we have to do a joint promotion with ESPN. So the job.
Spence versus Crawford was one of the most anticipated fights, bro.
But
that fight was like Iron Man versus Captain America.
That's true.
Like, come on.
That's true. But listen, anticipation is not what allows you to walk into.
Bro, let's just be honest about these guys. Because I look at fighters' popularity and shit, right? Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford both don't even got 1 million followers on Instagram. Both guys, if they fought each other, that's how they get known. They should have fought each other. We should be talking about a fucking trilogy or something right now.
But Bushido, you just proved his point when he just said that.
There you go.
if they don't even have a million, if they don't even have 1 million followers,
what I'm saying is they should have been fought.
But what I'm saying, okay, I'm gonna ask you a question. How many pay-per-views you think I can sell if they're fought right now?
I mean, it don't matter, bro. They got to.
It does matter.
It does matter. Yes, it does matter.
We can't say it don't matter. We can't say it don't matter, because that's the reason why Bob Arum just said they wouldn't give the money for Sean Porter fight.
Spencer Porter was on pay-per-view for what? He can sell the Family Diner. But Crawford,
but it's not a joint promotion.
But it's not a joint promotion.
Bushido, but it's all done under Fox. It's not, and the revenue, it doesn't have to be shared between Fox and ESPN. That's the difference. Heavyweight boxing is different. When you have first of all, Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder wasn't a joint promotion until Tyson Fury signed with Bob. So it's again, that's what people have to understand. And what the meat and potatoes of that whole situation is that Bob Arum was just salty because Al Heyman had 3 of those belts and he froze them out. And what he was doing was what was best for his client and Spence, which was his job to build him up. So when it was time for them to meet, that they had all the leverage. It had nothing to do with the fighters ducking each other. It had to do because Bob Arum lies so much that you don't even know when he's telling the truth. Because he the one who came out and said, okay, we ESPN have a blank check for us to make this fight. Then and Bomac repeated this. Al Heyman, this is go ahead.
My man Robert Navarro, salute, bro, for the $5 super chat again. He says, is Pac asking $40 million to fight Spence? If not, why he asked Bud for that amount?
You know what, Robert Navarro? I'm gonna tell you this. Does anybody ever know what anyone's asking when PBC's negotiating? See, we only know about all of these bullshit. This person wants 20 million, this person wants 40 million when it's top rank. PBC just get the fight signed. And every time we hear about this 40 million, 20 million, or all the negotiations is leaked into the public, the fight never get made. So
they don't. And that's what happened with Crawford and Spence. Spence started talking about these numbers. Spence put numbers all on the fight in the public. Said Crawford got to do this, got to do that. Bro, come on.
Right. So
I know you've seen the interviews with Derek James.
Yeah.
Oh, how many tickets has he sold? He became a manager all of a sudden. I mean, come on.
But you have to understand.
Listen, one more thing.
Go ahead.
Because if Spence is such a draw, it don't matter what Terrence Crawford brings. I'm the draw. Just make sure your ass come in shape. I'm selling this fight. I'm Errol Spence Jr.
But it's bigger than that because because Spence and Crawford aren't financing the fight. The people who are financing the fight are the networks. The networks want to make sure that they have their money because you already see now that they haven't made money on Terrence Crawford, how he's being treated.
Bob Arum hasn't made money.
No, neither has ESPN. You got to think they're giving this guy $4 million.
Some of the most viewership. What you mean?
But they're not pay-per-view fights, bro. And they were supposed.
It don't matter. That's what they signed up for.
No, what matters. Listen. What matters because the plan was to have him on the app, and for that revenue that they were paying him, those guaranteed purses were based off of him getting app subscriptions for people to watch him fight. So it didn't have to necessarily be a pay-per-view fight, but the growth in ESPN Plus app subscriptions, that's what it was about. But then that didn't work because they tried to do a fight on ESPN Plus with a pay-per-view and their app subscriptions weren't going up, so they just threw him on regular ESPN so he can get a fan base because now he'll have more people seeing him. And the truth is, he's more popular now that he's just fighting on regular ESPN because people who have regular cable, which is millions and millions of people, now get to see who he is. They just did their business plan wrong. And then COVID came on top of it, which fucked it up even more. And then on top of it, Arum didn't want to make fights. Now, we can say what we want about the PBC fighters, but how do you offer Danny Garcia $3 million to fight Bud Crawford, and then you turn around and give the guy who Danny Garcia knocked out in Amir Khan $6.5 million. And then the guy was knocked out again by Canelo Alvarez. And then he had a fight with Phil Greco that went one round, and then he fought Samuel Vargas, who Danny Garcia and Errol Spence watched, and he got dropped in that fight, and it was a drag-out dog fight. Then you turn around and get this guy $6.5 million.
Danny and Angel did not want that fight with Bud. They put a high ticket on the fight. Everybody wants 10 to 20 million to fight Terrence Crawford. I mean, look, Amir Khan brought the Palestinian people.
He didn't bring nobody. It was a flop.
He brought the.
That's what they thought.
But it was pay-per-view rights over there in the UK.
That's what they thought, but he didn't bring anybody because if anyone remembers what was going on with Amir Khan at that time was Amir Khan and Kell Brook were supposed to fight each other, and the UK wanted to see that fight back because they was talking shit. And then Amir Khan wanted to have a rehydrate clause in that fight because he was scared he was going to get knocked out. And then when he did all of that stuff, because people thought the fight was going to get made because they were both signed in Matchroom at Eddie Hearn, and he backed out, the UK kind of turned their back on him because he was the reason the fight wasn't made because the fight was about to get made. And then he ran and took
the... You got to remember the climate around that time. When Bud fought Amir Khan, Keith Thurman was about to fight Pacquiao. He was saying, oh, I'm not interested. Oh, why don't you go fight Amir Khan or somebody, right? He told Errol Spence he's not on his to-do list. You know what I'm saying? Then Errol Spence was telling Bud he got to do this. He got on the wrong side of the street. This is what was going on around that time. You know what I'm saying?
What we saw when they met up, what was said. When Bud asked him, who did Al mention, he mentioned all of those guys. And then the second thing, I always like to ask this because this is just a very basic thing. When Errol Spence became a world champion in 2017 in May against Kell Brook, he had immediately called out. Keith Thurman showed that he had elbow surgery. So he had called out Sean Porter and Danny Garcia. Sean Porter said that he wasn't on his to-do list. Danny Garcia, he wouldn't even mention Errol Spence's name. And they went and fought Lamont Peterson. Terrence Bud Crawford wasn't even a welterweight yet in 2017. Errol Spence had called out Sean Porter and Danny Garcia before Bud even moved up. Errol Spence's last two fights are two guys that he called out before Bud was even in the weight class.
I think Bud fought Horn in July 2017, I believe.
No. He came up in 2018.
2018?
Yeah, it was in 2018. Spence fought him. And so he wasn't. So what I'm saying is the two guys that everyone knows that Spence was trying to fight three guys. Mainly Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman went on a vacation for 22 months, right? And then he wasn't on his to-do list, as we remember. And then we had Danny Garcia, and we had Sean Porter. People was down Sean Porter's throat because he wasn't on his radar. Remember, so the last two guys Spencer's fought is two guys that he called out before Bud even got in the weight class. So I don't see really how that's ducking. I don't understand how you could even call that ducking when he's fighting guys.
Bro, the only fight fans been talking about for the past 3 years more than any fight is Crawford Spence. Like Manny Floyd, bro. That's the fight that we've been talking about consistently for years.
Facts. That's facts. I can't disagree with that. But there's a lot of moving parts in order to, first of all, get the fight made. Number one is
wait. Because let's just be honest. Mm-hmm. We know Crawford's situation. His situation is his contract is up in October. We got to see what he does next. Right. The best move for Bud is to get up out of Top Rank. Then we go see
without a doubt. Without a doubt, I agree with that 100,000%.
At this point, Crawford in a situation that he's in. He's stuck with Bob Arum. Bob Arum ain't doing shit for him. He knows there's a chance that Bob Arum knows there's a chance Terrence Crawford will go right off to the sunset.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, he's just in a really bad political situation. So once he's out of this contract with Top Rank, and he needs to leave Top Rank. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
And I believe these fights, it should be easier for these fights to get made.
And listen to this, Bushido. I've said this for the longest. I got so many enemies because I said I never had a problem with.
Hold on. Let me read the super chat real quick. This is my man Robert Navarro again for the $5 super chat. He says Errol moves up in weight to 154 and wants Charlo. Who you going to train?
Well, we already know Joe's going to train Errol. I mean, that's who he's.
That's a good question.
I mean,
yeah. Is he gonna
but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to happen because Charlo is getting ready to fight for Undisputed and he's going to probably move up. I think this is all planned. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like Charlo has to stay there.
But sorry, I was kind of have to go soon because my girl, man. But hey, Bushido, man, and I wanted to ask you this. What happens if Bud decides to either stay with Top Rank or signs with MTK? Because that's a rumor too.
MTK is just simply a management company. He has some money behind it.
Right.
But if he signs with Top Rank, bro, I'm gonna have to get on him.
You should have been got out of him. You should have been got out of him.
But you gotta understand but it is what it is at this point.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. A lot of times, that's what I say. Why you can't be, because a lot of the times people want to put all the blame on Spence, but it's like, bro, how you resign with somebody who came out in the public and said he killed the Manny Pacquiao fight?
Because he said they made some false promises. See, Bud probably gets sweet talk about other people that's behind the scenes that we don't see. And he's really loyal to these people. They gave him a chance back in the day. They promised him all kinds of shit. Promised him this. They got him a network deal with ESPN. So he ain't complaining about money, but they can't get him to fight. Why? Because Bob Arum don't know how to sell a black fighter.
Facts.
They didn't promote Bud right. Terrence Crawford isn't a guy that's going to go out with Adrian Broner.
Bushido, you know what the Fox and PBC, you know what they're doing, and you may not like this, and a lot of the fanboys are not going to like this. They're playing hardball, and you know what? I respect it. You may not agree with it, but they're playing hardball, and they are. I can't. It is what it is. It's made out something that you may not like, but it has nothing to do with Spence being scared. It's that they're playing hardball.
They're playing hardball.
Al Heyman is a man.
Yeah, they're playing hardball because they know Crawford's a tough fight.
No, it's not that, bro. Listen. Bushido, let me ask you a question. Who owns Fox Sports?
Why Errol didn't fight Keith yet, then, man?
Hold on, that's you should ask Keith that. But
hell no. Because Keith Thurman wants that smoke, bro. Errol said,
Keith Thurman wants to smoke now that he ain't got nowhere to fight. That he didn't want to smoke when he could have had the smoke. He was talking about get back years and all that. You know what I'm saying? So my thing is, you got to think, right?
Fox. I got another super chat. Hold on. Salute to Ohio runs boxing for the $10
brother.
He says when Spence versus Pacquiao was announced, that not only gave Errol more leverage against Crawford, but it put him in a position to get a bigger fight with Canelo in Texas.
Facts. And I want to see him fight Bud before he even imagines fighting Canelo, to keep it 100. What I'm saying to you is this, Bushido. Look, who owns Fox? Disney owns Fox.
Yeah, and ESPN, right?
Exactly. So these two are rivals, bro. Because they're owned by the same big entity, but they're their own separate companies under that. So it doesn't mean that they're not the same company. It's like I work for Comcast. It's called Comcast NBC, but NBC is separate to Comcast. So it's not the same. So what I'm saying is they are rivals to each other. These executives, they are shrewd people. So you look at, for instance, Fox goes over to ESPN, and what do? They go snatch up Skip Bayless and pay him a whole bunch of money, and they have Undisputed, which rivals First Take now. So I'm trying to tell you what was going on with Bob Arum and Bud Crawford with the 50-50. That's what ESPN told Bob Arum he had to deliver. That's why he wouldn't budge. That's why he would not budge on the 50-50. Listen, a guy like Bob Arum, who's a shrewd businessman, everyone knows in negotiating, you start high and you meet somewhere in the middle. Why would Bob Arum start at 50-50? Why would he start right at 50-50? Because he know that the data doesn't show that Crawford deserved the 50-50. So he did everything that he could do to manipulate the people the same way he did it with Manny Pacquiao and Floyd. It's the same thing. This one's scared of my guy. 50, it's the same thing. I don't understand how people don't see this. It's the same fucking thing.
Hold on, man. Ohio runs Bikes for another $5 super chat. He says, Errol knocked out Manny Pacquiao on the biggest stage. Crawford fight is not happening because Canelo's going to jump all over that.
That's if Spence decides to take that fight, and I don't think he's going to take that fight right now. I don't think
that would be smart to take that fight right away. They do that 168, right? You got to just go die.
No, we're talking about Canelo, a man who's been all the way up to 175 pounds.
Right, yeah. So he needs a couple warm-up fights first.
But that's exactly. I don't think that fight's going to happen.
I think that would be smart.
The way that I think that fight is going to go down, that's a fight that we're going to see towards the end of his career. That's going to be a super showdown. I don't see that fight happening now. With that being said, when I made my comment earlier about Top Rank playing hardball, PBC playing hardball, and the reason and you have to understand. Okay, if they fought right now, right? Spence gets no Pacquiao. They fought right now. This fight will probably do maybe a decent, maybe 500,000. This is a hardcore's dream, but it only semi-sells to the casual. We have to be honest. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder, they had underperformed for their expectations. I think they were expecting 1 million plus, and we know they're bigger stars in both of those.
Nobody cares about nobody cares about Fury like that, bro.
Right.
But what I'm saying is, if they fought right now, they probably can do enough to break even from a hardcore perspective and semi-casual, but it doesn't have the full casual fan base yet. Like you said, they don't even have 1 million followers on Instagram. This fight is a fight that I would love to see as well. But I do understand that this is a fight that Errol Spence wants for Undisputed, and that's smart. Why would I fight my toughest fight before I get the other guys out the way and then I risk it all at the end? That makes no sense.
And that's
common sense.
Right. And that's exactly why when Terrence Crawford was asked after his last fight against Kell Brook, who did he want more? He said Pacquiao. Because that's what it does for you.
Because he knew Pacquiao would give him leverage.
Exactly.
That's
the same thing. So all I'm saying is that don't be mad at the player, be mad at the game.
Look. I'm just waiting for Spence to make the fight. If you the man with the juice, if you Errol Spence Jr., you the A side, you the big fish, you the big dog, you the big
and you know what, Bichito, like I said before,
and you show us who's the best undefeated American in boxing.
Like I said before, if Spence gets past Pacquiao, which I believe he will, there's no excuses now because this fight is now going to take it from a casual perspective to a mainstream perspective with Spence's fan base. There's no obstacles anymore. Undisputed is through Bud.
Oh yeah, and that's true. But also, Bichito, we need to hold you accountable too. To tell Bud to come down from that 50-50 shit because that ain't real. It's not real. So we can't be saying, okay, well, Spence offered him 60-40, and Bud was undisputed at 140, and this. So, but even though he don't sell pay-per-views, we got to put it on Bud to also come off his high horse as well.
I don't even think it was the way. I don't even think it's about the numbers. I think it's the way it was done. Like, why you?
What
just
do you mean
like,
the way it was done? Okay, let's because the other guy failed to mention 80, 20, or whatever. Okay, let me cover that storyline. Okay, let me cover that storyline right there. Let me cover that storyline.
Nah, bro. You don't do a brother like that, bro.
Okay, Bushido, you're the guy who said, and this is so funny too. You're the guy who said when you're on Spence because he said, why did he show up to my fight? But let's not forget something. 2 weeks prior, about a week prior, Terrence Crawford did an interview with Akin Barak on YouTube, and he said, that fight's past me. I'm not looking towards that fight. I don't want to fight him. Get him out of my way. And then Spence made that comment.
He was in the building anyway, just to see if he could get that fight.
No, that came after. No, Bushido, that came after those comments that Crawford made first. Spence didn't make those comments first.
No, actually, the timeline's a little off. Your timeline's a little off. The timeline is a little off though. The Akin Barak interview happened after. That happened after because the Akin Barak video was an interview during the Virgil. No, that was during the Virgil, Ortiz, and Hooker. What happened was Crawford did that interview with Miss Boxing Baby. That's what it was. When he said 60-40 my 50-50 or 60-40 my way. Spence must have messed up his head in that accident, and I don't need him. So then when he shows up at Errol fight, Errol words was, well, I'm gonna make him stand on his word. I'm gonna make him stand on his words. If he don't need me, I'm gonna make him stand on his words. I wouldn't. If I said that about somebody, I'll probably never go to none of his fights. If you say you don't need somebody and then you show up to their fight, I mean, you just contradicting yourself. But the reason he's saying that, right, is because Errol done put so much pressure on him because he needs to deliver. He wanted to deliver the Spence and Crawford fight before Bud contract is up.
Crawford thought what was going to happen, and they thought that him being in the building, within 30 feet away, in his city, he thought that the fight could get jumped off, get some traction going, get it moving.
It wasn't. I knew it wasn't going to happen.
The girl asked him before Spence even acknowledged Crawford. What do you want next? Oh, well, I just want to go on my ranch. He didn't even say nothing about
it. Listen. No one, first of all, no one should have been expecting Spence, first of all, to say, I'm going to fight Terrence Crawford right after he's just finished doing
he just came. Let's
be honest. This guy just came off of like an 8-month rehab into his training camp. But that's not the point. So you want to first want to see after you seen the pictures of how that dude looked. You first want to see if you even still have it in the ring. If you still belong in the ring.
He's weary of Crawford, and that's a tough night out.
I don't believe that he's weary of Crawford. The other thing, Bushido, is that the plan was always for him to get 3 belts. He was there was no way he was going to fight Terrence Crawford before they put him in a fight to get the 3rd belt from PBC so they could make the fight bigger. So they can say this is it's all about storylines. I don't understand how you don't get that. Terrence Crawford is undisputed at 140. They can sell the fight with a guy who has as bad pay-per-view numbers as Bud has by saying he's going to make history to come up to 147, be the first guy to be undisputed in 2 consecutive weight classes. They were never going to make a Spence Crawford fight until it was for undisputed. And the issue was that Al Heyman had 3 of the 4 belts. That was always the issue. And they had an issue that Al Heyman held all the cards and he was going to feed all those fighters suspense and have Bud and Arum have to fend for themselves until they was ready to do it their way. And that has nothing to do with one fighter being scared of the other. I mean, it's just basic though. But I get that the fight fans love fights. They want to see fights, and they don't care about any of that stuff. They don't want to think about that stuff. The only thing they want to think about is blood and guts, and that's cool.
I mean, maybe they just don't believe that Spence could beat Crawford. I mean, we heard what Tim Smith was saying and Derek James. They don't. Floyd Mayweather. Oh no. You know what I'm saying? Oh no.
I mean,
they don't want him there. They don't believe.
They
believe that they'll go ahead and have Spence knock blood off. He'll be the number one pound boxer in the world, and everything that comes with it, and everything else he already gotten more.
Listen,
but
Floyd
is a tough night out, bro.
Floyd said earlier, from before all of this was going on, that before any of this duck and talk was going on, Floyd was the first person who said that we are going to let this fight marinate, and people got upset about that. Before anyone said anyone was ducking anybody or anything like that, Floyd Ben said that this been the plan. And people know that Floyd has major influence at PBC. Al Heyman's still in the music business. That's his main hustle. This shit is side hustle. He got Floyd watching over the boxing shit. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's just what it is.
So basically, you saying that Floyd Mayweather is holding up the fight.
I'm saying that Floyd Mayweather is being...
Floyd Mayweather and Terrence Crawford seem to have a direct line with each other.
Yeah,
but Floyd quick.
But yeah, that's true. But Floyd Mayweather calls Al Heyman his father. So that's a whole different relationship. This guy's made you almost $1 billion in revenue since you signed with him in boxing, and they know what it takes to make these big ass fights. You get Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford to fight back in 2018. They wasn't gonna make that. That wasn't gonna make no big ass money. And niggas is streaming fights too. That wasn't gonna make no big money. They needed all of this. Look, we do these chats, we talk. All this is This is the manipulation. And I said this before. That fight's gonna be $99.95. It ain't gonna be $74.95. They have milked us and played the people against each other. They've taken a side.
I cannot disagree with
you. That's what they did. And I just say this. I'm not going to blame either fighter, because the same way I don't blame Errol Spence for ducking is the same way I don't blame Bud Crawford for fighting the opposition he's fought. Because he ain't fighting about his opposition, but he take care of his business. But he can only do what they're empowered to do. They don't have they went through everyone. First of all, I think the shit with Benavidez, that confrontation they caught on camera, I think that was staged to build the fight. They did a poor job, focus on your fight before you don't make it to your fight. I think that was a stage thing, all right? But it was a build-up to a fight because they don't have opponents, right? They did a poor job promoting it. We didn't even know when they were going to fight, and they just finally did something on TV the week of the fight.
They do the same thing. Except for the Pacquiao fight.
Right, but
they hear about their fights like they come on, boom.
Bro, there's no comparison on the promotion that Fox does for Errol Spence leading up to his fights and what ESPN does for Crawford leading up to his fights. It's not even close. It's not even close. We can't. There's no all these fight camps and commercials and the count. It's not even close. Let's just be honest. It's just not even close. So Top Rank has dropped the ball because Bob Arum is not a promoter. He's really a manager, but he uses the term promoter because that's what it was in boxing back then, to do business. That was the title. But he don't promote no fighter. He's a promoter in the sense of how there are promoters in the music business that if there's a venue somewhere that this is who you have to go through to make the fights, and he goes and gets the money from the parties, from whatever party who's going to finance it, and he's in charge of putting that all together, but he doesn't promote no fighter. And he doesn't do a good job of promoting. He's just a guy. He's a middleman with connections.
If Bob Arum lost money on Terrence Crawford, he definitely lost money on Lomachenko.
Without a doubt.
I mean, the dude just don't promote his fighters. The Ukraine they have a huge market over here in Chicago area. There's a lot of Ukraine. He don't never have a normal fight over here. Like, it's a man. Like, come on, bro. Like, Bob Arum don't know how to promote his fighters.
No, he don't. He doesn't.
He don't want to take chances. He don't want to take risks. You're gonna have to take risks on these guys.
His words. Think about this. You talk about how big the fight is, right? Bob Arum was the person who said, "Who's going to pay for the fight?" Both of these guys are going to want to be compensated. He said, "Who's going to pay for the fight?" We talk about all this stuff. He said we can make the fight right now, and then he comes out and said, "Who's going to pay for the fight?" Then when they talk about him fighting Spence, he said, "Am I supposed to take a hit to my net worth? I'm supposed to take a gamble with my net worth and take a hit if it don't work?" So if this fight was so lucrative in his eyes, why wouldn't he want it?
So basically, what I'm gathering is they don't believe Errol Spence is a big enough star yet for them to take a risk against a guy like that.
No, they don't believe. First of all, it's not what they don't believe about Errol Spence. Bob Arum only has these apprehensive based off of what he's experienced already with Terrence Crawford. If you don't think them ESPN executives.
How you gonna put Terrence Crawford in there on pay-per-view against Victor Postal? You didn't even build him up.
But that's my point. They
mismanaged him.
That is my point. And if you don't think that them going over to ESPN and then the numbers for the Conor fight we didn't even got a straight number for that after even 3 weeks of waiting on that. If you don't think that ESPN wasn't breathing down his motherfucking neck about the money that was lost, you gave one guy almost $7 million. Bud Crawford makes whatever he makes on the fight, right? And you only got 125,000 buys. They took a fucking L on that, and that's why
all these guys be taking L's. I'm hearing stuff about Showtime and PBC Fox. I'm hearing stuff behind the scenes that they having problems. I'm not sure if it's true, but
it makes. I mean, it makes sense though. We haven't heard any of that until COVID showed up. You know, that's why the Ruiz and Areola fight was on pay-per-view. They're trying to make up for lost revenue. That's why they're trying to charge people for shit because COVID showed up and that fucked up everything. Because now you don't get the big gates anymore. There's a whole bunch of revenue that's missing. People are getting stimulus checks. They ain't thinking about buying pay-per-view. You know, you fucked up. You getting a stimulus check, motherfucker. You don't turn your cable off. You got internet and you got some type of streaming shit where you can get free pay-per-view. Yep. So it's always that's what the issue has been. You know, for a while. The issue has been that for a while.
What guys need to do, and it's not even just Bud. Because Bud's a little bit older now, but what guys need to do, you gotta have the fans. You gotta do something for the people that care about you. Errol Spence is from Texas. The fans love him. They adore him. They're gonna support Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Crawford needs that same type of support, where like the fans really care about what he's doing.
You know what? I like this guy doing it in the super chat, Robert Navarro. You know what, Robert?
Let me read it real quick.
Yeah, read the super chat.
Boxing again with the $2 super chat. He says Bob uses the Pound File as his promotional tool.
That's funny.
Robert Navarro for the $5 super chat. He says, "What if Errol loses? Then what?" People talking like AJ won already.
First off, no one's speaking like that because we're just talking about why a fight wasn't made. And secondly, what I was going to say about that is, you know what, Robert Navarro, Floyd Mayweather appreciate people like you. See, because you will pay to say something like that to show me that you will pay to watch someone lose. You know what I'm saying? Or to win. Listen, no one's acting like Errol Spence won anything already. We're just saying that at the end of the day, I'm not going to blame the fighters for why the fight hasn't happened. The two networks have plans. They have plans that are based around money. You fuck with these people money and you see what happened. You know, Crawford is not fighting right now because what Bob just said it. First he said so many things. I don't understand how y'all could believe any of this stuff. First he said Porter wasn't a big enough fight, blah, 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 blah. And now he's saying that the Porter fight could be a big fight, but ESPN doesn't want to come out of their pocket. You know, and he's sure as hell ain't coming out of his pocket.
Bob Arum in a way, man. Honestly, he's in a way. Yeah. Somebody else needs to take over as a promoter, on a guy on the front lines, doing the talking, you know, telling people what's going on. Somebody's going to be honest with the people. You know what I'm saying? Bob Arum he's just really bad. Honestly, he's just bad. He got good. He's good because of his longevity and his reputation. Some of the fights he's done in the past, and all that shit. But as of right now, nah, man, he ain't really taking no chances. He acting like he's some 20-year-old hot shot trying to make it, do like 1,000 years old, and he's scared to just spend his money just to like whatever, bro.
Right over to the sunset. I think
Right.
Bob is one of those guys where if he stopped working, he'll probably die. He just has to stay. You know what I'm saying? Like his brain capacity is still pretty good considering his age, right? So it's like he's just one of those guys. Like he's gonna die working. Like that's.
But why not just take a more of a background role? Just take the back seat. You know what I'm saying? Let the guys, younger guys, be up front because you be fucking up.
Because he's similar to Floyd. He needs to be in the spotlight too. He's very similar. You know what I'm saying? Like he enjoys getting in the media and talking and saying shit that makes sense or don't make sense. It like that's that's in his DNA to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So because from what I heard is that basically there's some other guy that is really like in charge of Top Rank. It ain't Bob anymore. Like financially.
Who, Todd DeBow?
I don't know if it's him. I think it's someone else. It's like Top Rank has some money problems, and some other investor guy came in, and he really runs stuff. And Bob is just basically he's still like he's like a chairperson. He's like a chairperson. You know, like you know what I'm saying.
That White did with the UFC.
Right. He's like a chairperson. So so there's someone else who has a big equity stake in Top Rank. So look. They just need to. Bud just needs to leave. That's just a bad situation.
That's it. At this point, I mean, we know he ain't getting Spence Pacquiao this year. Maybe he can get him this year, but we just got to wait till his contract is up.
Yeah.
Like Bob Arum is the big, the big problem.
And we have to.
Man, hey, I gotta get ready to go eat and let the dog out, all types of shit.
Okay, good brother.
Thanks for stopping in, bro. Everybody go subscribe to my man Loyal to the Game. Go follow him on Facebook, in the group if you're on Facebook. Loyal to the Game Boxing, man. Good brother right here.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Also, subscribe to my channel too, Loyal to the Game Boxing on YouTube as well. And salute to the chat. Salute to the chat, definitely.
Yeah, y'all hit the like button, and your boy Bushido is out of here.
Peace.